Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids and cubs, and welcome to season 5. And if I am not mistaken, episode number 747. Ooh, we're gonna take it gently of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. Always 100% Canadian. Today, recording day is Friday. Thank God I'm Fly Day, September 26, 2025. And it is another great day here at the Beaver Lodge. But that's all right because we have the sunshine in our hearts and we also do need the rain. Hmm. I am your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And not with me, as usual, is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. A big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and PsychicTarot.ca. Kids and Cubs, how is your mental health doing today? Mine doing pretty well, I have to say. Still tired, was another short night, but this time a short night for a reason, because today we are going to be bringing you a segment about something that's going on in BC, and we have our friend Mr. Wolf joining us, who is located in BC. So we recorded this segment last night because asking him to get up so early this morning would have been absolutely just unfair. And so I'm the one that went to bed a little late while we did this. So today we will have a combination show where we will have a pre-recorded section that I will present you with Mr. Wolf, and then I will come back live to present you the rest of the news of the day. Right now, I am live. When the segment starts, I will not be. So yeah, a little bit of a different show for you today in terms, I think it's the first time we try something like this. So hopefully it will work. Keeping our fingers crossed. And other than that, I also yesterday went to see a play local here called Seven Stories, which was pretty good, I have to say. Not exactly what I had expected. I expected it a comedy that was a little more madcap. It was more reflective, but still good nonetheless. Just when I was reading the description, there was something I imagined in my head, and that's not exactly what I got, but I enjoyed myself very much. And it's going to be a bit of a theater weekend because today my Beaver Sweetie and I are off to Stratford to check out 2 plays there as well. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. We've done that, been to Stratford a couple of times now, but last time we went, every now and then in the summer, there's a sale that comes on where you can get the tickets at Stratford for very, very low price. So we took advantage of that. And then we take a drive out there and, treat ourselves to a meal or two and of course, a night of lodging, and we see one show one night and the next show in the matinee, and then we go on and do the rest of our weekend. So this year we're doing that. We're going to go see Anne of Green Gables because my beaver sweetie, because he was not born here, is actually not familiar with the story and that little bit of a Canadian culture. So we're going to get him a little bit up to speed on a couple of things Canada. And then the next day, we are going to see Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale. And Stratford is always a good place to catch Shakespeare. So we saw King Lear the other day with the other year with Paul Gross in it, who was famous from Due South, if you remember, and of course Passchendaele movies and all of that kind of stuff. Men with Brooms as well. It was a very, very good performance. So then I think the second one we saw that year was Rent, the musical. So yeah, we're very, very excited about this. It's going to be a little bit of a couples weekend, a little bit of romance and theater and fine dining and all that good stuff. So pretty excited about that. So wish us a lot of fun, kids and cubs, because that is the plan for the weekend. And then we're going to visit our friend Deborah to celebrate her birthday and also the 5th year of her marriage to her wonderful love, her wonderful sweetie Eric. She got married during COVID, and fortunately, of course, my beaver sweetie and I were invited. Unfortunately, it was outside and all that good stuff. But yes, 5 years. I was, I got to deliver a bit of a speech there to, wish the bride and the groom well. So that was a fun. I got to MC the post wedding ceremony, which was a lot of fun, and so yeah, we're going to celebrate them, celebrate Deborah's birthday and their wedding anniversary because it was earlier in the month and we weren't there for that. So spending really good times with friends. And Deborah was my Beaver Sweetie's roommate back in his university days. So right when I met my Beaver Sweetie, soon after I met Deborah. And I've known her pretty much as long as I've known my sweetie. So there you go. We joke that she's our fairy gay daughter. We are the fairy gay fathers. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful time with again people we love and people who love us. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see my Beaver Sweetie's family on this trip, mainly because his father is on a trip to Italy at the moment with the lady of his heart. So good things happening to good people all around in my circle of friends and family this weekend, and we're going to be there to share in the joy. So I am in a good mood, even though I am a little bit sleepy. I don't look it so much this morning as I do the other day, as I have the other mornings, but I am a little sleepy. It was a short night. All right, kids and cubs, how are you doing today? Let's take a little look here at the chat and see who we've got with us. And I was the first one in this morning, which is very, very rare. But there you go. Then we have Kit Elaine saying, "Good morning, everyone. Thank God it's Friday. I have to be in listening mode for a bit in a bit. That's okay. However it is you need to be when you listen to us is good enough for us." We have Kit Uncover saying morning and morning to you. We have Kit Moan here waving hello and offering some coffee and some love to the DAMFAM and some love to the fam as well. Thank you so much. I'm glad you can join us. Who else do we have here? We have Kit Linda M saying good morning to us and has some details about what's going on with the ostrich farm. If you are a member of our DAMFAM Discord, it is under the Sci and Tech tab there. So please check that out. We have Kit Sue with us this morning. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Saying good morning to everyone. We have Kit Tabby G saying hello and giving a little wave. We have Kit Il today who's with us. Hello. It's so nice to have you with us today. Sending you some big, 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 big hugs. Thank you. Kit Elaine celebrating 25,700 subscribers now. I know they're just joining. It's a bit heady. it's a bit these are heady times, I have to say. The last 2 weeks or so, well, actually, last month and a half or so, we've been growing rather rapidly. So this again makes us feel good. We're quite happy. Thank you so much. Viewership has been a little weird. The other day we did the show. Oh, I'm trying to remember which one it is off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, we did one. Oh yeah, when we were looking at Trump and Zelensky together at the United Nations, and we called did Trump dump Putin, and thinking of it in the same way as that Rasputin song, did Trump dump Putin? And we thought, with that title and everything, it would catch on. And after we did the show, well, when we closed the show in the morning, we were at about 167 viewers. And allegedly, if we are to believe YouTube, two other people clicked it over the next 11 hours and nobody else. The numbers just stopped. That happened twice this week, where after the morning, after we signed off, uh, it's as if like nobody clicked on our things ever. So I don't know if there was just a YouTube issue or something of the sort. But yeah, we were kind of wondering what was happening to our viewership. It seemed to have halved all of a sudden. And then, yeah, uh, yesterday we had two shows this week that were a little closer to normal, still a little under. Not exactly sure why all these new subscribers are not necessarily translating into views per se. However, there is a short that we have going on when Mr. Grizzly did one of his segments where he talked about Mike Pence, and that one has really taken off. That one's getting several views a day. It's just about to take a 10-minute clip or something. But people seem to have really latched onto that one. And we're getting a lot of views in that sense. In fact, we've crossed the 700,000 views mark, kids and cubs. So crossed 25,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is absolutely fantastic. And then we're closing in on 4,600 followers on our Twitter feed, and when you add to that, 700,000 views. So thank you, Kits and Cubs, for all that you do that help us grow, because that's our goal. We want our message to reach more and more people, and it's because of you that happens. So thank you. All right, we keep going down the list. We have Kit Hyper T 007 here. Say, Bom dia, minha familia de oh boy, Baragem. Todo bem? I don't know what familia de Baragem is. I know that's a good day, my family of something, and todo bem, I'm going to guess is all well, I would guess. But then again, basing that on Spanish, but Baragem, complete that one's a mystery. I don't have any anchor in French to be able to figure out what that could be. I'm going to say famille de Baragam, chosen family or online family, maybe. We'll see. I'm sure that Hyper T will tell us. We have the Breens with us saying morning, damn fam. Kit Swanky Frankie saying morning. We have Grace saying, I'm late. Good morning, all. You're not late. You arrived precisely when you intended to. And as we say in the show, we don't care when you arrive, so long as you arrive. We have Kit Jillian here, uh, joining in the chat. Kit Kat W with us, saying good morning. And that is wonderful. There we go. We have Kit Wishful, hello, saying good morning. Kit PNC Bio also saying good morning. You could tell it's a Friday because the gang's all here. And on Kit Uncover has the Beaver Dad joke. What did, oh, it's scrolling up. There we go. What did the beaver say after finishing the dam? Would you look at that? It's perfect. Would you look at that? I like that. Baragem is dam. Bara. Okay, barrage. Baragem. Okay, I could have gotten that from French had I known. So, in other words, good morning, DAMFAM. Oh, well, how cool is that? Ah, that's fantastic. Good translation, though, overall. Okay. I will take it. I'll take the win. I'll take the W. And let's see. And I think that's everyone we have today, kids and cubs, coming in, sliding across the plate for a hello. All right, kids and cubs. Um, Today, as we mentioned, a different show. We're going to have Mr. Wolf joining us. We talked late last night. I believe it was in the 1 o'clocks in the morning, our time, when we finished. But again, with the 3 hour difference and then coming back from a play, I wasn't really ready to start our conversation. Maybe before 1 o'clock, actually, maybe in the midnights, actually, I should say. Wasn't ready to start our conversation until a little later last night. But I had been following on Twitter, thanks to an account by someone who goes by Jas, Johal, Johal on Twitter, um, who is a journalist, if I am not mistaken, and has been covering this story uh, quite well. Also, I believe Rob Shaw has been doing it, has been covering it very well. They're the people that I've been seeing the most talking about this. Just Johal is the CKNW host from 3 to 6 p.m. and an ex-Global News East Asia bureau chief and former director of communications of the BC LNG Alliance. And he has been following what has been going on with the provincial BC Conservatives. Now, if you remember, it wasn't that long ago. In fact, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, that there was a provincial election in British Columbia, and it was a close result. I believe that the NDP formed the government, but only winning by having one seat more in that case. And so it was a squeaker of an election, and the polls have remained tight. And of course, it happened after lots of tumult in provincial politics with the folding of the BC United Party, and we'll talk about it in that clip there, but used to be the BC Liberals and it had rebranded itself. And the BC Conservative Party just popped out of the blue, seemingly out of nowhere, to provide some competition. If we were looking at public opinion polling at the time, I think I'm going to have this for you right here. I can show this from you from 338.com. Just a little context to come. You could see that there was a time uh, around January 1st, 2024, where the BC Conservatives were riding so high it looks like they were going to win close to 80 seats in the legislature had there been an election, and then there was just this deep slide down and this quick slide up right here for the Conservatives. And then they've sort of been very close, neck and neck. Like right now, they're saying that it's, in terms of a seat protection, uh, the, the, the BC Conservative Party would pick up 40 seats and the NDP would pick up 45 if there was an election held today, and both of them running at 44%, which is a little interesting considering all the turmoil there's been in the BC Conservative Party, that there hasn't been a drop in the public support for the party yet. But that has been the situation in British Columbia. Things have just changed so rapidly. Uh, and it would seem, kids and cubs, that because the BC Conservatives lost the party, there was an automatic leadership review. And, well, things have been happening, and we'll get into it in that conversation. Also, a little piece of news that might be important, kids and cubs, for you to know as we were going to discuss this, because we veer a little bit into other subjects, just a little bit. but also in British Columbia when it comes to party leaderships. The BC Greens recently had a leadership vote as well for the provincial party, and there have been some interesting results with that. And I will just present this to you as well, kits and cubs, because we talk about this, and I didn't have the numbers on hand at the time. But here we go. The BC Green leadership election official results chose Emily Lowen as the new leader with 3,189 votes, or 60.6% of the tally. Jonathan Kerr finished with 1,908 votes, or 36.3% of the tally. And Adam Bremer Aikens finished with 128 votes, that's 2.4. None of the options had 14 votes, 0.3%. There's 5,259 total votes. And that's 625 higher from the 2020 leadership election. So they were able to recruit more members, and more members did show up to vote. Eligible members were 8,641. The turnout was 61%, which is down 24% from the 2020 leadership election. So, yeah, more people turned out to vote in total, but in terms of percentage of total eligible members, a lower amount. I'm going to guess that they maybe did well in signing up new members, and that happens often in a leadership race. All the members that are signed up, not necessarily all of them turn out to actually vote. But the BC Greens have a new leader, and those are the numbers I wanted you to keep in mind, because we were sort of trying to, I think Mr. Wolf was trying to remember the numbers off the top of his head, and I was trying to look for them at the time to provide more clarity, and I was not able to locate them on the fly. So that way you have that information beforehand, so when that element of the conversation comes up, you are actually aware of the actual data. So there you go. All right, kits and cubs. So let's get into it. We'll show you our conversation from yesterday, where we're discussing, and trust me, when you hear it, it is a maple syrup sticky hot mess. And then when the segment is over, of course, I will be back and joining you live to finish off the news of the day. All right, kids and cubs. So please sit back, grab your favorite. Do please enjoy our segment with our good friend, Mr. Wolf. Oh,
Hello.
hello. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I am doing well. And how's your mental health today, sir?
My mental health today is doing very well. I got to spend an extra hour in the kitchen just creating and doing fun things for dinner. And
Okay.
that's always a great way for me to check in and feel better.
Oh, good. I'm so great. Kits, for those who don't know, Kits and Cubs, Mr. Wolf is one of the most assiduous and frequent participants in our Kits Who Cook hashtag, because, as I say sometimes on the show, right? Um, Sometimes I just don't know what it is that I want to make for dinner. So if you make something yummy, or are eating something yummy, and then you put the Kits Who Cook hashtag and tweet it to us, well, then, it gives me some ideas of what I want to make for dinner every now and then.
I haven't posted the pictures yet. The other night did Korean fried chicken thighs
Oh,
on buttermilk biscuit
oh,
sandwiches for dinner.
yum, yum. That sounds so good. Well, I did a spicy basa fillet the other day on a bed of polenta with some vegetables, and it was very, very yummy. With a very, I made it a little spicy with a butter lime sauce to go with it. It was just like, oh, so good.
Yeah, tonight was zucchini fritters because I believe on Twitter I saw another DAMFAM friend had a craving for them, and Mr. DK Gray there.
Yes.
I came home, I was like, I need to make some zucchini fritters now.
See, there you go. There you go. Mr. Gray has a impeccably good taste. Very refined gentleman. If, especially considering he's a very foul-mouthed economist, which we love.
What goes in doesn't equal what comes out.
Exactly, exactly. My good friend, we are here to discuss some very interesting and strange events going on in British Columbia. And I absolutely needed your help for this because I sort of came into the story midway and don't really understand who are all the players and what the heck went on. But if anybody else here, east of Manitoba, have maybe heard, there's something going on with the BC Conservative Party. Well, there's been a lot going on with the BC Conservative Party over the past few months, but a lot of it has been coming to a head recently. But this is, could we say sordid, Teo?
Uh, it
Or
has
messy?
been, yes, messy, sorted, a year in the making.
Okay.
It's definitely uh, a twisted tale of conservative politics.
Twisted, yes. There's reporters Jazz Johal and Rob Shaw who've been writing a lot about it on Twitter. There might be some places that you want to go if you want to find out more information about this. You'll have to look back in their feeds, but we'll try to give you the best information that we have at the moment about it. Mr. Wolf, this started, we have to go a little bit back in time to the moment, and this we were familiar with when the BC United Party, which used to be the BC Liberals Party, the party that was led by Christy Clark for a while, who were liberals pretty much in name only. They were really more of a progressive, conservative kind of party.
Yeah.
So we get that. And something happened to it that made it such that they needed to change their name. They rebranded to BC United, and that lasted for one election, did it? Or two?
Not even.
No, okay. And then,
Not even one election period.
yeah, and then the party, weird stuff happened to the party, and the BC Conservative Party just sort of like sprouted and became something. And then BC United ended up pretty much folding as the election, the last provincial election was about to happen. So I'll let you take it from there and just give us an idea of what's been happening.
Yeah. So the BC Conservative Party, up until recently, has not garnered more than 2% of the vote for decades.
Right.
A few years back, John Rustad, who is currently the leader of the BC Conservatives, was kicked out of the BC Liberal, at the time, caucus for his anti-environmental views, that he didn't believe climate change was a real thing. They were the first ones to actually bring in a carbon tax in Canada.
Okay.
So our conservative liberal BC Liberal government was the first government to bring in a carbon tax.
Right.
And he actually was saying it's not real. They ejected him from caucus. He sat as an independent and then started working on getting the BC Conservatives revived. So over the next few years, he would peel off one or two different candidates or MLAs that they got 2 or 3 and received party status. Then you had the BC Liberals, just with their history out here, failed against the NDP over and over.
Okay.
And so their support was looking for somewhere else to go.
Right.
The Liberals tend to be center right, but a bit more right than center.
Okay.
So in the conservative, but a progressive conservative was where we were sitting.
Right.
As global politics pushed the Overton window further to the right, people wanted a place to go, and they landed on Rustad and the BC Conservatives.
Okay.
So they started getting more attention, more support in polling.
Right.
The BC Liberals at the time decided they needed a rebrand to get away from the history of the BC Liberals.
Right.
So they decided, since the Whitecaps were doing really good, they wanted to capitalize on that and went with BC United, which everyone said BC United FC, or they made sexist jokes calling them the B Cups
Jeez.
because it's the BC United Party,
Okay.
which the acronyms was sitting there and they didn't like that was happening.
Yeah. Like when crap happened.
Yeah.
You got to think these things through, man.
Someone in the marketing side just didn't actually think everything all the way through with the way social media goes these days.
See, in marketing, you always need somebody in the office who has a dirty mind. They catch this
I
kind of
think
stuff.
I think most people need a dirty mind. You need someone with a clean mind to clean it up.
Yes, but you need
And make
someone
it
with a
more
dirty mind to catch it. Does anybody notice that this says B cups? No, just me. Okay. Anyway,
I think if you have like half a dozen with dirty minds, all those things get caught, and then you have two or three that go, no, we can't do that.
right, exactly.
This is why. Sure.
Diversity on your team.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
It's always a good way to go. But so as the name change, it did not catch on. It did not work. The party kept bleeding more support in polls over to the BC Conservatives. With an election coming up, at the point, it actually, the way polling was showing Conservative votes splitting between the two parties, the BC NDP at one point was polling showing that they were going to win 84 of 85 seats.
Yes, remember that. Yes.
And even as a progressive voter that was going to be voting NDP, I don't want to see that.
Right.
I want a good opposition keeping any party in check, no matter what.
Right.
But the BC United Party decided they were going to look at merging. As those conversations were happening, there was some of the larger names like Eleanor Sturco that defected over to the Conservative Party and started growing their sitting MLA base as they switched parties, which further collapsed the BC United Party base. And we essentially went from having a center party, a left party, and then a little bit of a right one to left and right, and nothing left in the center.
Okay.
And because of that change and the BC United Party completely collapsing, the election ended up being extremely tight. The NDP have a one-seat majority. So literally 2 years ago, a party that had 2% of the vote is now the official opposition and was almost in power.
Right.
John Rusta is a genius. He made these moves. He made the changes. Amazing. After that, as those parties started combining,
Right.
how do you mix the candidates that were already running
Right.
in two different parties?
Right. Because BC United Party had candidates nominated already. And when the leader
And
of
the
that
BC
party.
Conservatives also had candidates nominated.
Exactly. And if BC United is folding, now did the leader of BC United go to the BC Conservatives as well? Or did he just leave?
He's, I'm not really sure. We've not heard much from him in
Okay.
anytime since. He's, I guess, folded up and has to deal with leftover party bills.
Was that Kevin Falcon?
Yes.
Okay. Not sure. I'm trying to remember if he ran. I'll look that up.
No, it was Kevin Falcon. He did the whole name change. He
Yeah.
made the deal, folded the party. They still owe money, and he has to deal with that. So
Okay.
he stayed out of the limelight, did not get elected to any seat.
Okay. All right. So one party is folding into another as candidates have been declared. Some of them still want to run. They're going, hey, what the hell? We didn't vote on this, because it was done pretty unilaterally, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, both were running almost full slates.
Right.
So you've got 80 people on either side almost that are running for these different seats. And all of a sudden, now we have to merge everything. And that's where the first schism started.
Right.
So, reported back by the Orca in August 19th, 2024.
Okay.
They were saying some party members have been receiving a letter that accuses Rustad of diluting the conservative brand by accepting floor-crossing BC United candidates as well as candidates previously associated with the BC NDP.
So they're not pure enough.
That was the essential body of the statement.
Right.
It specifically complained about Rustad accepting the defection in July of the three-term BC United Richmond MLA Teresa Watt, who still won her seat as a BC Conservative. But they were complaining about her a year and a half ago, back in July of 2024, when she joined over. They complained about Gwen Omohani, Jody Tour, Dupinaquar Saran, and David Williams, all coming in that they were not conservative enough for the BC Conservative Party.
Right.
So that was the first big schism in the party, that like people were not happy that, hey, we need to have a big tent party that John Rustad has really pushed for.
Right.
And we've seen it. Canadian Conservatives, big tent. We have the PPC.
Right.
Alberta, I mean, they're sitting there in the UCP right now. But we go 10 years ago, well, we had Wild Rose, we had PCs, we had all sorts of conservatives. So every time that they want to consolidate the conservative vote under one banner to win, it still blows up because they can't get along.
Exactly. The seeds of the destruction are already sown at that moment by the manner in which they come together. And as we keep on saying in the show, the only persons that a conservative hates more than a liberal are other conservatives.
Well, conservatives that aren't conservative enough.
Right.
From that, then into December, there was just a whole bunch of people there claiming that Eleanor Sturka was trying to usurp the party. They had the quote, I'm just reading my notes here. Global News, December 10th of 2024 was, to quote unquote, it's difficult to run an open, pluralist party with people running hither-thither with different viewpoints. It doesn't look like it's a coherent party, a coherent opposition, he said. And that was, I captioned that wrong. I think that was Brian Bugay or Berger.
Okay, yes.
Yes. And if they can't agree with themselves, how can they run a province?
Right.
Is always a challenge for a pluralist party committed to free votes. As John Russ says, like, we're not going to whip votes. We're going to just let people do whatever they want.
Right.
And that really started, well, people further on the right are saying people that are close to the center are not far enough right. It's been a constant turmoil of infighting within the party since then.
Okay.
Getting into 2025, we're still doing last year
Yeah.
stuff. They had so many vicious arguments. Right as the caucus was starting, they had Dallas Brody
Okay. Yes.
come up. So she was ejected from caucus. She dragged people. So now there's another conservative party in BC called One BC that she started. That they deny there's any proof of graves at residential schools in BC. They said she said that there are theories of graves, but there's no physical proof that we've seen, so we can't give them the benefit of the doubt that there is.
Okay. And
Which
that's
was
part of
enough.
right. And that's part of the reason that she was booted out, right?
Yes.
And she had belittled testimony from survivors of residential schools.
Yes, and even a Indigenous member of the Conservative Party was, excuse me, what? And a part of her being ejected. Jordan Keeley and Tara Armstrong both quit in solidarity with Brody.
Okay.
So they've now lost 3 people on that. We've kicked out Eleanor Storker now. So
Yes.
the BC NDP 1-vote majority, as long as the Conservatives keep infighting, it's just Conservatives and Independents that are on the opposition line.
Right.
Right.
So Armstrong joined Brody in the BC one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was earlier this year.
Yeah, Dallas Brody made one hell of an impression. We talked about her on the show around the time she formed the party. She had some very interesting things to say as the party debuted. That gave us the impression these are not serious people. Let's just put it that way.
They're serious.
No, they're serious about what they're doing, but these are not
very unserious points. But
yes.
And then, as we continue the story of their, so Keeley's from Peace North River said John Rustad does not have the courage or the integrity to defeat the NDP.
Okay.
The party has lost its way and no longer stands for the grassroots voter of BC.
Okay.
So I don't know if these independents will even vote with the Conservatives on any bills because they believe that the Conservatives are just completely lost and cannot be supported anymore.
Right.
And it's funny that Rustad was kicked out of the liberal progressive conservative kind of BC Liberal, 3 years earlier
Right.
because he didn't believe that climate change was real.
Right.
So
And now he's got people abandoning him now that he's
it's
leader.
a circle of you're not enough, and
It has a little
knives
bit.
out.
Like if I was, listen, I don't much like John Rustad, but the little bit I know of him, not impressed. But there's got to be like some moment where he's standing in a room going like, "Is it me?" Right?
You know what? I saw today on the bus home from work. It was I think Aaron Rupert was quoting Obama
Okay.
that said the majority of the world's problems right now are caused by old men who don't realize that they're out of touch and are trying to do anything they can to hold on to power.
Right.
Which, when you look around, 100%.
Okay. Yep.
You've got Trump, you've got Putin, you've got Netanyahu, you've got Rustad, you've got old men,
I know.
generally white, that can't just go, you know what? No one wants me here anymore. I should just go off into that dark night.
I know. Every time I see PR on TV, it's like, did we not cut you?
I mean,
Why are you in the scene?
he's
You
not
didn't
even
survive for the
old.
sequel. What are you doing on set?
He's not even old guy doing it. He's just a white guy doing it.
Ugh.
And like I said, yes, old
He's
and generally white.
he's maybe 40 something in real life, but in politician years, he's 117.
I mean, I am 14 days out of turning 43 today. So
Ooh, happy early birthday.
thank you. And I look at him, Trudeau, like I am in that same early to mid 40s, not
Mhm.
quite 50 yet. And look at him going, what are you doing?
Indeed. Indeed. All right.
I
So
mean, if he wants a makeover, he should probably like grow a mustache or something.
well, you're assuming he can. Uh, um, oh, damn. Where did that come from? Anyway, back to the BC Conservatives.
Yes. So most recently in February, I mean, recently, the big news for the Conservatives. So Brian Breju, I
Brigitte or
actually never
something, is
learned.
it?
It's Breguet.
Yeah. If I was
Breguet.
French, I would say Brigitte, but so I'd say Brigitte.
He's a conservative. He
Hmm.
is actually a really nice guy.
Okay.
I've looked at his Twitter feed. He's definitely conservative, but he also understands when he's in the wrong
Right. Okay.
and admits that. And I give him props for that.
Okay.
His quote back in the Vancouver Sun in February was John Rustad was the right guy to take the party from 2% to 40%,
Right.
but he isn't the right guy to take it to victory.
Right.
The main problem is that Rustad is really fundamentally just a boring old BC Liberals
Yes.
type, except he's very stupid on some topics,
Yes.
and he doesn't really satisfy anyone on the right.
Right.
So Rustad was able to create that coalition, get it up a bit, but no one actually likes him.
It's Preston Manning style, right? The
Yeah.
bit he had the idea and was able to unite everybody and create the reform and put the basic fundamental principles out and get everybody to adhere to them, but he was never going to be the guy.
No.
It was just not
And
going to happen.
so there's been people within the party calling for Rustad since summer of last year, great. You got everyone together, step aside.
Right.
And he won't.
Yeah.
He's, whether it's his ego, that hubris is just, no.
Yeah, it's hard in a way though, right? Because it's like you're so close and you've done all the work and all that all the machinery is there, and it's sort of like, okay, I have the choice to go for it, I guess, or step aside now and forever fondly be remembered as a founder, right? If that movement worked, if the movement worked, it would sort of be like the NDP is always talking about Tommy Douglas now, like 40, 50 years later, right? That movement worked like this. And we remember John Rustad brought us all together like this, and then you went to step aside for the next step of the pace of the party. It's that type of foresight we need, right? They would always be building on that particular right thing, but it's not as gratifying like this because there's a little bit of narcissism in politics, but it's also not as gratifying because that only happens many years later and you have to be around for it to enjoy it.
Sure. I mean, you have Bernie Sanders, who, sure, he's run in presidential campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
He has not changed his message
Right.
since he first started in politics. He has stayed true to himself throughout. He has created a massive support. There's people that served on his campaigns that are now serving in office, like AOC,
Right.
that people are saying, hey, if you want someone that's going to be progressive running in 2028, her name is being floated these days.
Right.
And we just had our BC Greens have their leadership,
Right.
I think. And we have a 25-year-old
Yes.
who wants to renegotiate the competence and supply agreement with the NDP right away. She wants to work on taxing billionaires out of existence. She wants to get rid of oil and gas subsidies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she literally was 25 6 days before being selected as the leader of the Green Party out here.
Yeah. Emily Lowen is her name.
Yes.
Yes.
And she is not David Eby or John Rustad or anyone else is running for her party. She's not even a Justin Trudeau. She is a generation behind me as a millennial, elder millennial, but that's now the next generation stepping up into politics, which is exciting. Did we lose sound? Oh.
Yes. So for some reason, my mic went on mute. There we go. I was just looking for a picture of her to put up. So that's Emily Lowen, the new leader of the BC Greens. All right.
Yeah, it's exciting that there's a new generation that are stepping up, and she actually had more votes from Green supporters than John Rustad got from Conservative voters in the leadership.
Oh, really?
About 3 times as many.
Okay. Good. Oh, wow. So the BC Greens therefore have a little bit of a good ground game going.
Well, they've got a great ground game, and that was kind of the final point of what's happening with the BC Conservatives is during this leadership campaign, there was a big complaint. Eleanor Sturko was bringing it up, as were numerous other MLAs that are in the party, that they said there was inconsistencies and possibly fraudulent people that were joining the party. A large number that all had the same email address, all had the same phone number, and they were asking for a review of all of these party members before they had the leadership review, which got shut down. And then the leadership review happened. John Rustad, 70% with 900 votes out of the entire party of conservative members in BC. 900 votes is what got him 70% of the leadership review to win. Mike has cut out again there.
Is there any indication of why so few people voted?
Well, again, so the way that the BC Conservatives ran their leadership thing is riding by riding, and they had different surges of people in different ridings that were going to vote, but they still had to put everything together for the final vote.
Right.
And so the amount of people that were the official opposition, 900 votes selected their leader. Yesterday for the Green Party, it was 3,900 votes that selected their leader,
Right.
1,900 for second place.
Right.
And I think almost 900 for third place.
Right.
So almost everyone in the Green Party had more support from their base than John Rustad did from his as the official opposition leader.
Okay. But I guess my question is if he was doing so poorly, why were there not more votes against him? Like, why did so few people come out to vote? Did they make it very, like, a short voting period, or?
They did, like I said, they did voting by riding by riding.
Okay.
So instead of doing a general caucus of everyone, they made each riding vote. So it's how many people are in the riding.
Gotcha.
And they go vote, and then they tabulated all the votes together and added them up. And that's where Kelowna and the interior area saw a mass increase in new memberships.
Gotcha.
That all had similar emails, same phone numbers. And that's where Eleanor Sturko brought that up, questioning it, asking for it to be done right.
Okay. Yeah. I see. I have an article here from the Tyee. Who's this here? Jen St. Denis, the Tyee. It says, ousted BC Conservative MLA Eleanor Sturko is calling for more investigation into allegations that fraudulent party memberships were manufactured in advance of a vote to review John Rustad's leadership. Sturko, who represents Surrey Cloverdale, was cut from the party's caucus on Monday evening, which you had mentioned, after Rustad won 74% support in the review. She said she was called into a meeting where Rustad accused her of organizing other MLAs to oppose his leadership. Sturko said that is not the case. Instead, Sturko believes she was ousted because she continued to question Rustad's leadership in light of the party's own investigation into the alleged fraudulent membership activity. Quote, I was extremely concerned by what I saw, Sturko said, adding she was also deeply disturbed by a Global News report that alleged some of the membership names were from deceased people. The Tyee has not been able to independently confirm that allegation. Sturko said a more thorough investigation is needed, including where the names associated with the allegedly manufactured signups were obtained. Quote, I'm suspicious and would like to have clarity on where the actual information on those individuals came from, Sturko said. The Conservative Party of BC did not respond to a request for comment for this story. The Tyee has obtained the party's internal report on the problems, which has been leaked to multiple media outlets. Two BC Conservative MLAs have confirmed the document is the same one shared with caucus members this month. Sturko said the caucus got a version of the report on September 16th and, quote, discussed the issue but not the report. Completed by former Conservative board member Sasha Peter, the report says that 2,238 party memberships were, quote, manufactured in July and August during the vote that would determine whether Rustad continued as party leader. The report says the majority of the alleged manufactured signups were created on the same day, August 29th. The report says 96% of the 2,238 memberships were purchased using the same credit card and states that represents a, quote, violation of the part of the Elections Act that governs political contributions. Elections BC does not play a role in setting party membership rules or leadership races or reviews, but membership fees for a party are political contributions and subject to the Election Act. Elections BC told the Tyee via email, quote, the Conservative Party has been in contact with our office about political contribution rules in relation to party membership fees, and we have provided guidance to the party on the relevant rules under the Election Act, Melanie Hull, a communications staffer with Elections BC told the Tyee. Quote, we have not received a complaint or a report at this time. Whoops. The screen just shifted on me. So hold on. I will get back to where it was. There we go. We have not received a complaint or report at this time. We are independently reviewing the circumstances related to this issue. However, an investigation has not been initiated. The report also includes 8 names associated with the credit cards that were allegedly used to purchase the memberships, but warns that because only the last 4 digits of the cards were retained by the party's credit card processor, there is a 1 in 10,000 chance that another credit card was used. The names the report says are associated with credit cards used to purchase the membership include people who have been closely associated with the party and in some cases with Rustad. The Tyee reached out to all the people listed in the report for comment, but is not naming them because we have not been able to independently verify the allegations. 2 of the people who appear on the list sent to the Tyee the same statement saying the information in question is flagrant, misconstrued, and includes sensitive private information about myself and my family. These statements said the information in the report is slanderous and it had been leaked to the media, quote, by Conservative Party of British Columbia board members and specifically the party's executive management committee. Fight, fight, fight. The Tyee obtained the report via a third party and has not been able to contact the original person who leaked the information to media. Another person who responded to the Tyee's request for comment said the information in the report was false. The person said they had checked their credit card statement and the charges for membership fees listed in the report do not exist. The person called the report, quote, slander, and the decision to leak it to the media, quote, a smear. The remainder of the people listed did not respond to the Tyee's request for comment. The report provides details of how the bulk membership activity was allegedly carried out. It says that in March, a decision was made to change the party's 1, 2, or 3-year membership to a fixed 4-year membership that would cost $10. Purchases of the 4-year membership were recorded in the party's fundraising and campaign database between March 7th and August 31st. A total of 3,642 4-year memberships were processed. The report says that while an official link to sign up was created, a second URL was also created. The report says, quote, it appears this link was created, quote, for the purpose of manufacturing membership signups. From July 7th to August 30th, there were 1,806 members processed through the second link. So 3,642 in total were processed, and just under, like minimally just under half, were processed through the second link that the report says it appears was created for the purpose of manufacturing membership signups. Just so we're clear on what happened here.
So now the math can start mathing.
Right. The article continues. Peter's analysis also found that bogus phone numbers such as 111, 111, 1111, or 222, 222, 22, you guessed it, 22, had been listed.
Mine's 333, 33, 3333.
Is it really? Oh. Had been listed for the suspicious membership signups, and many of those signups also had the same domain, getcloudmail.co, for their email addresses. According to the report, 99% of the 2,238 allegedly manufactured memberships failed address validation, and all of the signups failed postal code validation. Most of the signups appear to be South Asian names, according to the report, which is, how convenient that you have people ready to scapegoat for this. I can't believe somebody organized all these South Asians to do this thing, to throw our process into upheaval. That's what it looks like to me.
Same thing that they always accuse the NDP, who have South Asian MLAs, of always fundraising through the South Asian community.
Yep. Yep. Okay, it continues. Most of the allegedly manufactured memberships originated from VPN servers, according to Peter's report. Virtual private networks can be used to shield a user's identity. My. In response to the report, the party canceled all the irregular signups at a meeting on September 10th, according to a statement the party made to the CBC. The party said it was confident that everyone who voted in the leadership review was a member in good standing. But Sturko said she was not satisfied that enough had been done to restore confidence in Rustad's leadership. She wanted a vote on Rustad's leadership done by secret ballot within the BC Conservative Caucus. Sturko acknowledged her place within the party had been rocky for a long time. As an openly lesbian former RCMP officer, Sturko had switched parties from the centre-right BC United to the Conservatives in 2024, as voter and financial support was swinging from BC United to the upstart Conservatives, as Mr. Wolf was mentioning earlier on in the conversation. Sturko said Rustad had sold her on a plan to make the BC Conservatives a big tent party for voters on the right side of the political spectrum. After the 2024 provincial election, which saw the BC Conservatives become the official opposition with 44 seats, Sturko said she almost immediately came under fire from other Conservative MLAs when she commented to media about controversial comments made by a former Vancouver Police Board member. Quote, I can remember even being at the time in the media and people were saying, how could you go to the Conservatives, and telling people that I was never asked to change who I was as a person. I was never asked to abandon my personal values, Sturko told the Tyee. And that's true, but maybe others were left with the impression that somehow I would, and I would assimilate to the values that the party had been inviting me to join. So I think maybe there was a level of dishonesty coming from John. Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, and to be fair, Eleanor's always had the two different sides of her personal side, being part of the LGBT community.
Right.
Her and her wife, they've got a young family, and they're out in South Surrey where I live. But her time as a RCMP officer has pulled it more to the right. And there are definitely conflicting backgrounds there.
Yeah, okay. All right.
In the country. And politically, she has always focused more on being a RCMP officer, being anti others in that role. And as a politician, she's maintained fighting against others as opposed to including others, which is why I've always had an issue with her.
Okay.
I understand where she's coming from, but the fact that she sort of campaigns, runs against groups, and then defends herself as I'm part of groups.
Right.
Is, sorry, honey, you can't sit there and say, not you, but me.
Right. That's a quality Melissa Lantzman shares.
Yes.
On the federal scene. Yes. Okay. I see where you're coming from there. Okay. So we have this weird membership thing happening. Seems that those weird memberships were invalidated, but it caused Sturko. Now, was she high up in the organization until she started questioning stuff? Because when she came in, she brought a lot of credibility.
Yeah, so when she came over from the BC Liberals, like you'd almost put her as very high up, in the top 5 of BC Liberals, BC United, coming over. As she defected over to the BC Conservatives, that was like, oh my God, this is a ground shaking. There's going to be a landslide of BC United candidates or MLAs that are going to start just flowing over after her.
Right.
So she was a big part of starting that and giving Rustad that credibility.
Right.
that he promised her, hey, no, you will be included here. Your beliefs are included. Doesn't matter how big the party gets. You're one of us. We've got you. And that didn't happen. And she saw it happening with different candidates, with different, I mean, we've gone through Brody, we've gone through other ones that big tent doesn't work over there.
Right.
Because, I mean, we're talking about a tent that is just a circus tent has lots of colors.
Right.
Theirs does not quite have as many colors.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear. Well, listen, if you are supposed to be a big tent party, but you got a faction of the party that has decided that they are the purity testers, the party cannot stay together. The people you need to cut out of the party are the purity testers.
100%.
Right. Because nobody ever passes the purity test except for the purity testers. And eventually one of them slips around like this. And there's always going to be some purity tester that's going to come around that said, hey, the guy that's leading is not pure enough. And then that cycle repeats, and the seeds of the destruction of that movement are sown the very second that it's formed, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. And that's both sides of our political spectrum.
Oh yeah, on the left, the same thing too. Like this, if you're not pure, I can definitely see certain political movements that if you're not pure enough on the Palestine question, they don't even want to hear what you have to say on the environment, so you just get cut out, right? And so,
guess what? You know what? I want a free Palestine, and I don't want more bombs dropped because they're anti-environmental. Bombs ruin the environment. I don't want to see people bombed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see people enslaved. So
yeah, but I mean,
that's how I'm going to balance that line.
Like Justin Trudeau had it federally, right? It was on a woman's right to choose. You can have whatever opinions, but in the House of Commons, you vote for and you speak to a woman's right to choose. And if you don't do that, like this, you can't be a member of this party. I'm sorry, there's just no room for you. Right?
Yeah.
So like this, but that's what I mean, a litmus test or a purity test of some kind. Now, I mean, some of these
things.
I
don't get along with the federal parties is I don't like whipping.
Yeah.
And which then you see the issues of John Russad said he would not whip his party.
Yeah.
And now they're in this situation.
Right.
So there is the downfall of not whipping and allowing people to do that, but claiming you have a broad level of support when in reality you have each MLA or MPP in Ontario, like if each person runs their campaign and gets elected on their campaign under a broad party umbrella, you do not get to whip them.
Right.
Because then they're violating what they said to their constituents to get elected.
Right.
Or they're just rolling over and saying, tell me what to do, Daddy.
Yeah. Because if you're not whipping, you then have to create a political culture within the party like this, that people are inclined to support each other. And and to give and take. And again, if you've got purity testers cutting people off at the knees all the time, that doesn't create that environment.
And it's not, you've got purity testers and you have extremist testers that, how far can I push this, which stretches everything even further. And who's grabbing which side of the Overton window. And
Yep. Indeed. So, I guess Rusted is still the leader because he passed this leadership vote.
He's the leader because he also just kicked Eleanor Sturko out of the caucus. So
that's kind of a big deal.
Oh, and it's hilarious because today the United, all the mayors and that were meeting, and he had a speech at it. Is UCBM I believe. I just forget because it sounds like ICBM. I'm like, no, not bombing. He had a big speech as the opposition leader, and she showed up and sat front row and stared him down.
Yes, I saw that. Jazz Johal,
And
the reporter,
he,
was taught that, and apparently he had kind of called it that it was going to
yeah, he's like,
happen.
oh, wouldn't it be funny if Eleanor Sturko just shows up and sits front row? And she did.
And what is this event?
So it's essentially all the municipalities in British Columbia. They have an annual meeting. They bring in the provincial government. They talk about what needs to be done to support us in healthcare, in drug issues, in transit, all this, everything that needs to be dealt with at a provincial level and municipal level. And how do we work together? How do we get this done? And so David Eby had a speech the other day. John Rustad had his today. And yes, Eleanor Sturko came in and sat front and center and just stared at him.
Ah, Jazz Johal has this here. John Rustad dumping Eleanor Sturko had nothing to do with her organizing a leadership run. If that were the crime, 3 to 5 others in caucus would be guilty of the same thing. What really rattled Rustad and his dwindling crew of kids in short pants were the leaks. It began with a letter I released from a Surrey constituency president expressing concern over the ham-fisted leadership review. History has proven him right, and it's quite a letter. Heading into caucus, Sturko, a former police officer, was likely to say what many inside were thinking: Rustad's leadership is shaky and the mass signups are a problem. That sign-up problem isn't going away, and Rustad's failure to professionalize the party, bozo eruptions, MAGA chasing, weak fundraising, none of it is being fixed. Also, if you're the executive director of the party, isn't that your only job? Why are you getting dragged into this nonsense? The buck stops with the leader. Bottom line, the BC Conservatives base doesn't align with the mainstream electorate. Nothing Rustad has done has changed that. Dumping Sturko may have been his move, but Rustad remains dead man walking. Dead man. So even though, so this is the part that interests me, is because even though he's just had, well, I guess this would be, no, this was after the vote results.
Yeah, he had his 70% vote.
So
But
so why is he still a dead man walking, even though he's got that much vote?
well, so the amount of actual MLAs that are in his party, he is shedding off. He lost Brody, he lost her supporters. So there was 3 or 4 earlier this year. Now he's ejected Sturko. How many of Sturko's supporters?
Right.
I mean, she maintains she never wanted to run for leadership of the party,
Right.
but she would support others to overthrow him.
Right.
So she was a big name that came over, really gave the party a lot of support. If she's saying she's supporting someone else to overthrow her, he's got to be looking over his shoulder at every single one of his MLAs at this point.
Yeah.
Who is looking at their leadership run that's going to push them out? These are further fractures in the party. This is actually really funny. Evan Scrimshaw was just talking about this the other day.
Okay.
With the BC Conservative Party imploding like this, and the BC Greens electing a Gen Z, he figures David Eby, despite, I mean, I'm a supporter. I'm not happy with how they've been running everything. I think they should be doing way better.
Right.
He pointed out, he goes, Eby's got no competition at this point.
Right. Exactly.
He's essentially sitting as the Western Doug Ford.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what he does. The competition is so incompetent, he will continue to be elected.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing that I'm seeing Jazz Johal write, and this might be another reason why Rustad is still dead man walking, ability to fundraise always matters if you want to retain leadership of a party. And he says here, with all that's gone on, how do you think fundraising is going for the BC Conservatives? Just 350,000 last quarter, closer to the Greens' 200,000 than the NDP's 700,000. How long can they afford a downtown office and staff making six figures? Donations are going to dry up. Eleanor Sturco's supported leadership aspirations is why John Rustad says she's gone. Amazing that he drops a woman from caucus, but five men who also covet leadership are still there. And then Vaughn Palmer on BC Conservative leader John Rustad booting Eleanor Sturco for caucus says, this seriously raises far more serious questions about Rustad's ability to lead a political party or his fitness for premier. Whoo! Boy.
Well, his own party has been questioning his ability to be premier since he took over the party.
Yeah. And this UBCM meeting that you talked about that he went to and Eleanor Sturco was in the front row. Jazz Johal keeps on referring to it as the yearly dead man walking speech. Sorry, opposition leaders address. I'm guessing opposition leaders haven't lasted very long in BC for a little bit, I'm guessing. If it's called a dead man walking address.
I mean, not really.
Then he goes, more from the drip, drip, drip file. Kirk Lapointe, I don't know who that is, quote, this mandate to lead that he claims is more like a candle in a drafty room than a torch leading the way. Apathy and indifference more than passion and commitment. Ouch.
Yeah, we've got some poets in the journalist industry out here in BC.
Wow. I'm trying to figure, looking here at who Kirk Lapointe is. And sometimes they have a little blurb at the end of the article. But no, don't see it here. Okay, I was just curious about that. And then
We can follow up on that.
we could follow up on that. Then let's see what else it says here. During Monday's caucus meeting, BC Conservative MLA Dr. Anna Kindy tore into leader John Rustad over the removal of Eleanor Sturco, blasting it as cancel culture and demanding all voices be heard. The irony, Kindy is one of the caucus's most conservative members. It's interesting, one of the most right-wing voices in caucus just became Sturco's fiercest defender. When your own conservatives are calling you out for silencing dissent, you've got a leadership problem. Sources say a rebellion is brewing, and it's not just disgruntled BC United refugees. A wide range of MLAs from across the spectrum are apparently saying enough is enough to Rustad's heavy-handed tactics. Rustad claims Sturco was behind the leaks. Maybe he should worry less about plugging holes and more about why his caucus is springing so many. With this kind of internal chaos, leaks can quickly become a flood. So this is interesting because her life was being made difficult after joining by some of the most conservative members of caucus, but after this particularly heavy-handed
Who are
move,
now defending her.
Eleanor, politics makes strange bedfellows.
Well,
That's all I'm gonna
Eleanor
say.
is Eleanor Sturco, like I was saying, she is a member of the LGBTQ community. Her and her wife have a young family. She's also been a lifelong RCMP officer and is very iron on, I am anti-drugs, I am anti everything except for my left-leaning family.
Right.
And so that creates this internal divide of she is against progressive solutions for drugs. She would
Right.
rather see criminalizing everything versus let's provide housing, let's provide counseling, let's provide safe supply. Nope. We need to criminalize it and lock everyone up.
Right. Okay.
So that's where a lot of the conservatives grab hold and go, yeah, she is awesome. She's so strict on that.
Gotcha.
Then she has a personal life that they're not okay with.
Yeah. Okay.
And people are actually have asked her if she would join the NDP.
Right.
And she's like, I've been harassing them for so long, I don't think they want me.
Well, you never know. I mean, if I were David Eby, I'd make an offer and just see. Why not?
The best,
another
most
way, but
logical
however,
option I've seen
pardon?
was actually to offer her the speakership.
Yes, that's the other thing I saw on the web. Yeah.
Because that eliminates a opposition vote, brings
Exactly.
Raj Chauhan back to the NDP being able to vote with caucus, and gives them that essentially 2 votes.
Yes, extra buffer. Exactly. Yeah. The last thing I saw from Jazz Johal here, this is from 3 hours ago, so I don't know if you saw it. Lots of chatter inside the BC Conservative caucus about a major critic shuffle. The biggest rumor, Alia Warbus could be out as House leader. Multiple MLAs confirm the speculation. Speculation has been building as leader John Rustad holds one-on-one meetings with MLAs. He needs to quiet detractors and reward loyalists. In politics, you can punish your enemies or in some case promote them to keep them quiet.
Have not caught up on Twitter, so
yeah,
I haven't seen that.
But drama, darlings.
That sounds like someone's desperate to quell everything. If he's just, hey, you're critic, we'll bring you up here. We'll just start throwing things around.
Yep.
In meetings last minute. That to me sounds like someone is desperate to hold on to their position.
Yep. Ooh. Drama. Oh.
Hey, I said to blanking on his name. Another one of our friends back east there who does Too Dumb. David Moskrop.
Oh yes.
Said to him, I'm like, hey, we got to be a little crazy out here in BC. Just so the rest of you guys don't think that the country ends at the Rockies.
Well, there's definitely
Alberta has all the crazy. Then you guys are like,
yeah.
Oh, Western Canada. We're like, we're over here. Like, we could be crazy too.
Well, you definitely got our attention. Before we go, where do you, in your opinion, how does this end? And about like how soon? Like if it's Dead Men Walking, I suspect that the chances that this last ditch effort are not going to be all that great. So does he outlast a head of lettuce or?
He will definitely outlast the lettuce in Liz Truss.
Okay.
We've got another 3 years before our next provincial. David Eby is dealing with a lot of pushback, and we've got, I'm sorry, I'm an NDP supporter, but they're shit in the bed.
Yep.
They need to get their stuff in order before they're willing to call an election.
Yeah.
And if they rush it, you let that coalition just go, hey, we can figure our stuff out after we get them out.
Right.
So I really hope that the NDP goes, okay, what are the things we really need to deal with? Right now we're negotiating on our general employee unions contracts. They're on strike. That needs to be negotiated. We've got teachers that are right up doing the exact same thing.
Right.
They're risking that strike. And then we've got QP right after that. So we've
Okay.
got the BCGU, we've got the BCTF, and QP that are all negotiating their contracts right now. And this is something every BC government gets to deal with every 3 years.
Right.
Deal with that properly. They just put out the budget. We're in a deficit, but your public employees you need to look after.
Right.
Because that's who is generally who supports the NDP. So negotiate your contracts, get them settled, and then you've got 3 years before dealing with the opposition.
Right.
So if you do this well, you can let the infighting just happen and move on after that.
Okay.
If they don't do it well, they might feel they need to call a snap election, and that will be the death of them. And we'll see where it goes from there.
All right. Is there any last things going on in the province that our kids should be aware of?
I think the major negotiations on union contracts and that is the big thing.
Okay.
Beyond that, other than, like I said, it's 14 days until my birthday. That's the biggest thing that's happening in the province in the near future.
See, this is why we get along. Because my birthday is the favorite day of the year, because it's the only day of the year that it actually is all about me. The other days of the year, I pretend it's all about me. But
well, see, for me, I get an entire weekend.
Ooh.
It's Thanksgiving weekend.
See, mine often...
It is thanks for me.
Yes. Yes.
Weekend.
Yes. So that's cool. So we have that in common too. In that sometimes your birthday falls on a long weekend. So does mine. The Victoria Day weekend. Of course, my birthday falls on the day of the Queen.
Exactly. I was about to say the Queens.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I was meant to rule. Oh, well, listen, very happy early birthday. Thank you so much for staying up and doing this for us, because it's a story I've been wanting to bring, because it's so damn juicy, like right down from the memberships and then the backstabbing and and then the leadership race, and then it's like, rather than just taking the leadership vote and gracefully and just moving forward, he decides to make a brutal move, which then just like stirs the pot more. It's like, oh my god, there's like more drama than on Drag Race.
Thou mother knows I wear drapes.
It's like, oh my god. So but yes, like I said, I had only gotten in at around the time where the votes were already being cast, so I wasn't sure what had happened before.
Well, it was when Eleanor was ejected that you reached out and said,
"Yeah,
hey, what's going on out there?"
Yeah, but I'd been a
little crazy.
Yeah, but I tipped into Jazz Johal a little bit before, so around the time where they were voting, but I wasn't understanding why he kept on saying like 60 votes here and 80 votes. And it's like, why is there a different number of votes every day? And what they lost me, because that process was so unique. So all of a sudden I thought there was something in the story that I was missing.
By the riding, so
yeah,
each riding had their votes come in, and it was like a national election. Hey, get the riding, this one, except they did it over months instead of hours.
Yeah, interesting. All right, my friend, thank you so much for the help with this and helping us to understand.
It's a pleasure.
It's always nice to spend time with you.
You as well, and the whole DAMFAM.
All right. All my best to you and yours, and we'll talk again soon.
You bet. Take care, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
And there you have it, kids, cubs, and I've come all fuzzy again. Let's first of all remove the extra music there, because that is coming, and then let's get me back into focus. hopefully that will work. No, not yet. All right. So anyway, there we go, kids and cubs. That was our conversation with Mr. Wolf, also known as Adam MacGillivray, out in British Columbia, bringing us some details about what's going on there. I told you it was uh, a big, hot, sticky maple syrup mess, right? Oh my word. So yeah, there'll probably be a lot more fallout yet to come from that story, and we'll definitely be following it. But yeah, definitely a lot of turmoil when it comes to leadership and different things with the conservatives, and then in BC, right? Because the story we brought to you about the students that were studying at a college that were seemingly forced to work for Tamara Janssen's campaign. Well, that too was in British Columbia. And now we have this. So, something interesting going on in conservative politics in British Columbia, whether it be at the federal or the provincial level. And then, just going through everything here, you have a provincial election in New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador, where they're going to be looking at leadership in Manitoba. There is an Ontario Liberal Party leadership race. If you happen to be in Manitoba, September 27th, so tomorrow, is actually your last day to register as a member to get your membership so that you can vote. So, as we say on the show, the party leadership races and writing nomination races and stuff like that. That's really where the action is and where your personal vote can have the greatest amount of weight because people don't really participate in great numbers at these events. So if you want to make sure that you can have the best possible liberal candidate on the ballot for when the next provincial election comes along, then you go and you register, whether you're liberal or not, right? If you just want to be, when you get to the election time, saying, wow, whether it's NDP, whether it's progressive conservative, whether it's liberal, we have like three really solid candidates to choose from. It's an embarrassment of riches, rather than whatever we tend to get sometimes these days. So yeah, party politics and nomination races is where the real action is at because you would definitely have much more sway in that vote. Yeah, get your memberships if you can on the 20, like I said, before the 27th. That's your last date to register, and then the voting period and all that kind of stuff will start to open after all the memberships and everything are validated. In Alberta as well, we're talking about leadership, and there's some interesting data that has been coming out because, as we've been mentioning on the show, um, the Alberta Party, I believe it was, well, Peter Guthrie, who was a minister in Danielle Smith's UCP government, and there was another person as well. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Had been ejected from the party or left the party or for whatever reasons, and they wanted to start the Progressive Conservative Party of Alberta again, and it seems that Danielle Smith tried to claim that her party owned the conservative brand name because their party emerged from the merger of the Progressive Conservatives of the Wild Rose, so therefore they still owned that intellectual property. So they weren't able to form the party as they wanted to, but it seems that the Alberta Party had the rights to a name that also had the term Progressive Conservative in it, and therefore they have taken that party and have rebranded it as a more middle of the road moderate conservative option. Well, now, according the breakdown has shared this information, but it seems that there are some public opinion research companies that have decided to start polling, including the new party with the new brand. And here it says, and I'm going to show you because there are some graphics. But Nate from the breakdown here says, for anyone saying the new PCs don't have the potential to be a game changer, Here's the voting intentions without them in the mix. And I will show that to you. So I guess they asked the questions both ways, with the party in the mix and the party without, the party not. Let me just see what you see here. Okay, that's pretty good. Um, so if you are looking at this, without the new PCs in them, the UCP cruised to another majority, and I'll make that bigger here. I would say that the UCP get. The question is, if a provincial election were held tomorrow, which party would you vote for? All voters, UCP 35, NDP 30, and if you count among the decided voters, UCP 43%, NDP 36. And this red one is the Separatist Party, the Republican Party of Alberta. They get 9% on all voters and 11% of the decided voters. And then there's the ALP and ABP. Off the top of my head, I do not know what they are. I'm going to guess the ALP is the Liberal Party, and I'm not sure what the ABP is, to be totally honest, unless that is the Alberta Party, specifically, in this polling. But that's the data we get. Now, if you add the PCs in the game, well, look at what happens to the UCP vote. All voters, NDP 24, Progressive Conservatives 22, UCP 20, Republicans 10, Alberta Liberal Party 3. Decided voters, NDP 30, Progressive Conservatives 28, UCP 25, Republicans 11, Alberta Liberals 4. And if I'm comparing both graphs, that means in the previous one, this is indeed Alberta Party 4 because the PCs are not counted here. So whatever this green is here that says 4% before, it becomes this light blue here. So basically the Alberta Party with the rebranding grows from 4% to 22% among all voters and 28% among decided voters. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. But what this would mean is that nobody would get a majority, at least, if there was an election held today. And I guess there are some rumors going around about Daniel Smith wanting to perhaps prompt a snap election of some kind before the new sort of PC faction has too much time to get itself together. So there's that type of tension going on as well. So, and then, of course, federally, right, we have the federal NDP leadership race, which is on the way. And we've sent out an invitation, just a casual one, just over Twitter, to the four names that we've heard, three that are declared, and one that who's intending to declare yet, but has not, from what I can tell. And one of them has written us back, so hopefully we will try to arrange a time, and we'll be able to bring you a conversation with one of the candidates for the leadership. That would be it would probably be our first guest from the NDP to join us, politically speaking. So that will be a milestone for us. So we'll reach out and try to have that happen. And as well, there was something else, and I should have written it down on a piece of paper. Oh well. Oh yes, and of course, recently in Ontario, we had the Bonnie Crombie leadership situation, and all over the course of last weekend, it was Merritt Stiles of the Ontario NDP who had a leadership review, and it would seem that she secured 68%, I believe we have reported in that one, and which still strikes me as not enough. But Merritt Stiles has, in the intervening time, I guess the pressure wasn't as strong on her to move. as it was for Bonnie Crombie. And so in the intervening days, she's made a couple of changes. According to Alison Jones of the Canadian Press, Ontario NDP leader Merritt Stiles has parted ways with two of her top staffers after receiving 68% support in a leadership review over the weekend. She says in a statement that Chief of Staff Greg Denton and Principal Secretary Stephanie Nakitsas are departing. Jen Hassam, Executive Director of the Broadbent Institute, is stepping in as Interim Chief of Staff. The NDP held its convention over the weekend, and while Stiles received enough support in the leadership review to stay on, it was not a resounding backing by party members. In her speech at the convention, Stiles signaled some changes were coming as the party sets its sights on a 2029 provincial election. The NDP remains the official opposition, but dropped in seat count and in popular vote in the snap election held earlier this year. Quote, I want to thank Greg and Stephanie for their years of dedication to our party, for their leadership during an unprecedented political time, and in a snap election campaign that protected our seats and maintained our strong foundation. My singular focus in the coming years will be building and growing our movement so that we can defeat Ford and replace him with an NDP government that will work for working people. So basically, got a leadership review that I'm guessing the party is still gonna say is enough, even though 68% is still somewhat underwhelming. When you're in the between the 2/3 and the 3/4 part, you know, in a leadership review, you can how do I put it? You probably should go, but if it's aspirational, or if you were a one-time leader that they think that you can indeed grow the party, you could get a second chance. And of course, a lot of that depends on how you treated people on the way up as well. Um, but clearly, she must have pledged to have made some changes. There was a lot of stuff in the leadership review that was saying that she didn't have the support that she needed in order to be able to shine as much as she could. Um, so that was sort of the angle of it. So she said that, keep me on, I guess, and I will make the necessary changes. So this is her rapidly showing that she can make those necessary changes. According to the Toronto Star by Moira Welsh, in the first sit-down interview since the stinging results of her weekend leadership review, New Democrat leader Merritt Stiles said the exit of her top two staffers is the start of a transformation meant to usurp Premier Doug Ford. The lower than expected 68% endorsement of her leadership by party faithful has crystallized. That's a quote, crystallized. Her focus on changes that Stiles said include campaign preparations, quote, starting now. A plan to develop the next generation of leaders and hiring experienced staff from winning elections, such as those involved in the NDP's majority governments in Manitoba and Alberta. Stiles' promise to oust Ford is ambitious. In the latest Abacus data poll, Ford's progressive conservatives have 52% support compared to the NDP's 12% and the Liberals' 24%. Ford's personal rating was 46% positive compared to 28% positive for Stiles and 29% for Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie. The NDP review came 6 days after Crombie won the backing of just 57% of party delegates in her mandatory post-election review. When the Liberal results were announced on September 4th, none of Crombie's caucus members stood with her on the stage as she promised to prevail, only to resign a few hours later. Stiles said the outcome of the NDP vote tallied last Saturday left her questioning her viability with the party. Quote, in the moment, I have to admit, I thought, should I be the one to move this forward? I was thinking, should I be continuing? And I went to my caucus and I had their unanimous support, she said. I can say that very clearly they were adamant that they needed me to continue. After the meeting with her MPPs ended, they stood behind her on stage and Stiles told the crowd their message resonated. So that's a key difference between both leaderships there. Quote, we cannot run the same election campaign that we ran last time, Stiles said. At Queen's Park on Tuesday, Stiles said she plans to strengthen ties with the labor movement, which traditionally supported the party until Ford swayed some unions to endorse the progressive conservatives. She said the Ontario Federation of Labor and affiliates want to, quote, work and strengthen the relationship and build a strong partnership. While the party did not have an organized group such as the New Leaf Liberals openly campaigning for a new leader, Stiles attributed the lower than expected vote mainly to, quote, a few people from each riding who wanted to change. Now, Stiles says she is ready to deliver. Quote, I'm a leader who has a more clear sense of the change that needs to happen to win. And I feel like I have a very clear sense of what is needed to make that kind of change and to deliver that result. I feel there's actually clarity for me and opportunity in this moment. In the February 27 election, Stiles' NDP won 931,796 votes compared with 2.15 million for the PCs and 1.5 million for the Grits, and 242,822 for the Greens, while Crombie's Liberals had a significantly higher vote count that did not translate into wins, leaving them with 14 MPPs compared to the NDP's 27. As leader of the official opposition, Stiles said she is going to hold Ford accountable for his failures in job creation, housing starts, and healthcare. Quote, I'm going to keep focusing on what the people of Ontario tell me they need. Right now, the crisis is deepening. It's not getting better, she said. What I see coming is disaster. So there you have it. And I think that's pretty much most of the leadership related news throughout the country at the moment. All right, kids and cubs, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember, sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please tell your peeps and poops all about us. We really love it when you do. And kids and cubs, if you would like us to help you because you are on the go, you got things to do, but you still want to remain informed. And sometimes you can't listen to the show on our YouTube channel with the DAMFAM or at your own convenience. Well, thanks to the Ray Girl, we have a solution for you. Take us with you by going to our pod page. That's podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between each one of those words. And when you go there and click on subscribe, or if you're watching, you can scan that QR code that just appeared. When you do that, when we have a new podcast, audio version, ears only, ready for you, it comes to your favorite podcast feed, and all you do is just pick it up with a very lightweight and very efficient download, and then pop us in your ears and take us with you. And there you go. Win-win. We make it easy because we like to help. Now, kids and cubs, if you would like to help us, then please grab your e-surfboards and make your way on down to the True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube page, where we have 3 buttons for you: like, share, and the big one, subscribe. Please give them some clicks because it very much helps us with the algorithm. And plus, when we see our numbers go up, it gets us a little happy. It really does. So thank you so much for all of your support. And just know that Kits, Cassie, and Elaine would most definitely approve. Now, kids and cubs, if you would like to help us in other ways, we do incur some costs to bring this show to you, and we would be most grateful if you could show us an enthusiastic expression of encouragement to do more because what we do resonates with you. And you can do that by visiting the Emergency Hydration Fund page. Also known as our coffee page or our tip jar. And to get there, if you are watching Kids and Cubs, you go to the QR code that is going to appear right now, like magic. There you go. And if you scan that, it will bring you there. And that's ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver. And you can drop a couple of loonies or toonies in our jar. And then when they hit the bottom, it makes this lovely, lovely jingling sound that warms our hearts with joy because, well, that means that we get to do more for you. So thank you so much for everything that you do to encourage us and to support us. We are very, very, very grateful. Now, kids and cubs, if you want to support us and you're doing the Buy Canadian thing, of course, we've got a way for you to do that too. TrueNorthEagerBeaver@gmail.com is our email address. And if you use that, you can make a direct bank-to-bank transfer, which eliminates the USCE Tech Bros taking a cut and then giving a cut of that to Donald Trump to do whatever he's going to do with it, and ensures that your donation is 100% Canadian and that 100% of it comes to us so that we can do more with it. So it actually is a definitely winning proposition, and we thank you for that support. Now, as we always say on the show, Kids and Cubs, if you are not able to support us financially, that's okay, because the gifts of your participation and attention are the ones that matter the most to us. And we would love to hear what you think about the show. And truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com is the same address that you can use to do that. Let us know what you think of the show, good, bad, or ugly. If ugly, please be gentle. If you have some interview guests that you would like us to talk to and try to arrange, that would be cool. And of course, if you happen to be a member of a community organization or know somebody that's organizing an event, and you would like to have some budget-friendly publicity, we can help with that. Or if you yourself are a home-based business, right? Arts or some bookkeeping stuff like that other people could use, and you want to reach a broader audience, a broader potential market of engaged citizens who are very eager to buy and support Canadian businesses, then let us know as well. And as we say, let's make a deal. Kids and Cubs, because, and if you want to reach us on our socials, we haven't mentioned those in a while. At True Eager at the Blue Sky Beaver Lodge, and on the Jitter, True North Eager Beaver, our Facebook page, and of course, right here on our YouTube page, DAMFAM, right below in the comments section. You can let us know what you think there too. We read everything, even though we're not able to get back to everyone. And we got a beautiful message yesterday with a suggestion for an interview guest and a topic for October, because I believe it is National Autism Month. And of course, there's the news in the United States with, Tylenol and all that kind of stuff. So trying to see if there's maybe something that we can indeed do with that, because I think that could be a good opportunity. Um, it's not. It's. I have to admit that it's a subject that I'm not all that familiar with myself. I mean, I know it's an important subject, and it's definitely topical and in the news a lot. But it's not a subject I personally know about, because I personally haven't been all that affected by it. So might require a little additional research on my part to get up to speed, to be able to deal with that subject matter in a manner that is respectful. But yeah, I think it's a good topic. It's definitely of public interest. And I believe it is Kit Pat. If you are hearing this episode, yes, we will definitely be in touch, and we'll see if there's something that we can do with your suggestion. Okay. Um, hmm. Let's see. What else do we have? But people are writing, which is very nice. Thank you. And there's a lot of you who have been suggesting interview guests, and that have even made some initial contacts for us. We haven't been able to take advantage of everyone, and some of them we are working on for a particular special that we are trying to put together, a special series of episodes. So not sometimes, if we're not acting on them fast quickly, doesn't mean we're not acting on them. And there is one that unfortunately I just couldn't coordinate the dates. There was an artist who was in town delivering a performance, and I would have loved to have seen that and then been able to have a conversation with them. But unfortunately, I was not in town on that day, and I couldn't make it happen. But hopefully, there might be another opportunity later this year in November, which could still be tricky because I'll be in rehearsals or on stage for the show. So hopefully, it will be a night that we're not on. I'm not in rehearsal. But yes, a guest that would definitely be of a great interest. So I just want you to know that I am hearing your suggestions. And again, not always able to take advantage of the opportunities, but they are still very, 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 very good suggestions. So please do keep them coming. I appreciate it, and it does make my work a little easier if when someone has already done part of the legwork. I do have to say. All right, kits and cubs. I don't know where I am in the extra. So writing to us, I guess we're at the because democracy is something that you do portion. Kids and Cubs, remember forever-canadian.ca if you're in Alberta, so that you can put your signature in order to get a citizen initiative question on the ballot that is not pro-separatist, as Daniel Smith wants some people to believe, but actually in favor of national unity, in favor of keeping Alberta within Canada. And if that is something you would like to support, forever-canadian.ca is the website you go to find out where there are pop-up locations for your signature because they have to be witnessed, or whether or not you would like to be a canvasser and sign up for that to make a donation to the organization, because it does cost some money to have a province-wide campaign and blitz of the kind to collect the signatures that are required. So all of that are ways that you can help. If you are in Newfoundland and Labrador, remember, kids and cubs, it's election time in the province. We're in the middle of a campaign at the moment, and it is very important that you prepare and plan your vote, research your candidates. That's always very important, and perhaps even call elections, uh, Newfoundland and Labrador, to see if you could volunteer at a polling station. That would be good too. So there you go, kids and cubs. Please do what you need to do to make democracy happen over there. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, if you live in Manitoba, Manitoba Liberal Leadership Race, September 27th is the last day to buy your membership. So we're a little late bringing that news to you for some reason, but we're bringing it to you now. So if you're in Manitoba and you want to do that, please get involved. There is still time. You haven't missed the deadline yet. And I think that's all I got for that today. Words of wisdom. Um, Gee, I'm a little low on wisdom, to be totally honest. But I will say, um, you know what? Since Mr. Wolf helped us, um, you know when you have good friends who are willing to help, and don't be afraid to call on them, and of course thank them generously for them having taken the time to provide help. So thank you, sir. Those are my words of wisdom. All right, kids and cubs, can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And now, if I may ask, at the count of three, could you please say, Mr. Beaver, please cue the cock on one, two, three. Ah, that's so lovely. I cannot resist. I will do that, and then I will be back with a little Easter egg for you. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music. All right, kids and cubs, just a couple of things. In the interview, we talked about a gentleman named Kirk Lapointe, in our conversation, I should say, with Mr. Wolf. And I said I would look up to be sure I knew who Kirk Lapointe is. According to Wikipedia, Lapointe has been an adjunct professor and executive in residence at the University of British Columbia Graduate School of Journalism since 2004. He teaches ethics and leadership. He writes weekly for Glacier Media on politics and business, and The Hub as its BC correspondent. So there we go. Just wanted to make sure that I looped that and closed the loop. Um, did not mention it yesterday, and some kid mentioned it in the chat, and it was like, "Oh yeah, I had it all prepared," and I felt terrible because this is particularly important to me. But yesterday, September 25th, was the 50th anniversary of this most beautiful thing here. And I'm wondering if Kits and Cubs, you'd be able to tease if you see it. 50 years ago, on September 25th, was unveiled the Franco-Ontarian flag. It is green and white, and of course you have the fleur de lis here, and of course for Ontario, the trillium. Uh, so beautiful flag. En tant que fier franco-ontarien moi-même, merci, Kit Sylvie, for bringing it to my attention. It was a big day for us in our Franco-Ontarians. There was a beautiful ceremony scheduled here for Kingston at 11:30 in the morning, where there was going to be a flag raising in Confederation Park, but it was raining, and it was raining like crazy. So I'm not sure. I wanted to go, and I was going to bring back images for it, but I wasn't ready to stand in torrential rain. But according to the city of Ottawa, to celebrate Franco-Ontarian Day, as well as to honor, recognize, and celebrate the countless contributions made by Francophones across the country, the city of Ottawa will raise the Franco-Ontarian flag during an official flag-raising ceremony that was scheduled for yesterday at 8:30 a.m. inside City Hall at Jean Pigot Place. Madeleine Meyer will be the MC. Illuminations in green and white are also planned for the Ottawa sign in the Byward Market. Francophones across Ottawa will be celebrating this golden milestone in a myriad of exciting ways across the city. For example, the city will join l'Association des communautés francophones d'Ottawa, l'ACFO, and other key Francophone partners at an evening community gathering taking place at TD Place from 6 to 8:30 called Le 5-0, or the 5-0. Everyone is invited to join the Francophone community hand in hand in celebration, not only of the Franco-Ontarian flag, but also Franco-Ontarian culture, heritage, and identity. And the flag was created in 1975 by Gaëtan Gervais, a history professor at the University of Sudbury, and Michel Dupuis, a first-year political science student. It was officially recognized as the emblem of the Franco-Ontarian community in the Franco-Ontarian Emblem Act of 2001. Alors, mes fiers franco-ontariennes et franco-ontariens, on a de quoi à célébrer. Nous sommes, nous serons. In other words, I said, my Franco-Ontarian brothers and sisters, we have a lot to celebrate. And nous sommes, nous serons was a slogan that means we are and we shall be. At the time that they were trying to close down the Montfort Hospital here in Ottawa, which is a teaching hospital that specializes in teaching Francophone doctors in Ontario, and that program was going to be cut, and there was a huge rallying cry in order to save that program in particular, which was successful. So, yes, 50 years of the Franco-Ontarian flag. And then, of course, a little shout out and celebration. We have some Kit news by Kit Hugh, because not only does he have his new Hugh of the Borg podcast, and I definitely recommend Kits and Cubs that you take some time to check it out. And since I am saying that, let me put that in the chat as well for you. But Kitten Hugh had some other news. I had been hinting about it, but I wasn't talking about who it was on a previous show because I was talking about friends who had good news. And he announced it. Big news. I was just offered a full-time job teaching grade 8 at names the school. I won't mention it here online to protect privacies. Now I got to go work for a living starting Monday. And that's close to where he lives as well. So good luck to you, sir. And congratulations on the full-time job. And then a belated Shana Tova Umetuka to our Jewish listeners because it was Rosh Hashanah the other day, and that's the holiday marking the beginning of the Jewish calendar. So happy New Year 5786, everyone. And it kicks off the High Holy Days. This is according to the Jerusalem Post. It's an important 2-day holiday that focuses on long prayer services in synagogue, spending time with families, and praying for repentance as God judges you for the year and writes his judgment in the book of life. However, rather than just celebrating the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah has a far more solemn role as the beginning of the 10 days of repentance, which lasts from the start of Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. These days are important as they are a time of atonement and reflection. One says teshuvah, to repent for any of their sins and to be inscribed positively in the book of life by God. Once Rosh Hashanah ends, however, the traditional greeting is Gamar Hatima Tova, and I hope I am pronouncing this well, meaning a good final sealing in the book of life until Yom Kippur ends. This year, Rosh Hashanah started on the evening of September 22nd and ended on the evening of September 24th. The next day, the third day of, I'm going to guess this is Tishrei, is the fast day known as the Fast of Jedaliah. So to everybody who had been observing, we hope that the time was definitely well spent, and that the time has brought you solace and of course, hopefully, joy and an opportunity to gather. But also, of course, if we're talking about atonement, a little time for self-reflection and making things right if there's an opportunity to do so. It's never too late to make things right. But that's one of the things I like um, in Judaism, that there actually is a period of time every year where you are compelled or very strongly encouraged to think about, how much good and how much not so good you may have done. And if there's anybody you need to reach out to say, you know what, I was a bit of an ass there. I'm sorry. So, we should all be doing that. And, but that there's a specific moment, it's like, hey, this is something that's important to do. Don't let there be something, because sometimes in those situations we've done something and we're a little embarrassed as well because we know what we did. And, but, too prideful or too embarrassed to actually make the first move. And so, the fact that there's a moment specifically on the calendar that says, you know what, that thing that you said that you should have been doing that you're a little embarrassed, now would be the time. Do it now. So that maybe some belated wisdom there in that message, Kits and Cubs. If there is if there's someone with whom you've had a little squabble or something, and you think, I maybe could have behaved a little better. Why not reach out and say, you know what, mea culpa. See what happens. All right. That's all I got for you today, kids and cubs. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Wish us well. We're going to have some fun with friends and family and taking in a little theater. And I've pre-cleared it with the people from the show, so I have permission to leave. But I'm going to have to catch up a lot because that big dance number we were working on Wednesday, we're adding the second part of it over the course of the weekend, and I'm not going to be there for it, so I'm going to have to catch up. Yeep. All right. And like that, like magic, I am gone. Bye-bye. It didn't work.